Good evening, friends. We, Sri Lanka Academy, proud to present the Art and Artist. We are in the next episode of Art and Artist. I've been telling about Art and Artist for the last few episodes. I'm not going to talk much about in this episode because we have already a lot of content here. But in a brief, it's a initiative to preserve the history of art and artist. Let us straight jump into the episode for today. So today we're going to talk about the great composer, musicologist, vocalist, and you can call whatever else you need. So the great Poochi Srinivasa Iyengar is the um, personality who we are going to talk about today. Okay, so if you look at the history, he was born on August 16th, 1860, in Ramanathapuram. He was in childhood. He was going to the school, and he Pandituri Tevar was one of his friend, and they were like close friends, and then that made him to get introduced to them, the great people in the kingdom of Ramanathapuram. If you look at his family, Ananta Narayanan is his father, and Lakshmi Ammal is his mother. He was really a great bright child in the child age itself, and you know he was studying in the school, and then getting trained well. At the same time, as I said, the Pandit Tevar was saw this guy's interest in music, and then he also took him to the the great people of um, the kingdom in Ramnad, and like those guys also got to know about his interest in music. So they decided to put him under Patnam Subramaniam Iyer, especially because that's where they had he was one of the great musician in those days. So that's why they were started putting him under Patnam Subramaniam Iyer. Basically, like Pandituri Tevar, when he was talking to the ruling Sethupathi of Ramnad, and he was ready to check the knowledge about Srinivasa Iyengar and then put him under the Patnam Subramaniam Iyer. And it was also told that he gave an initial uh, contribution of the 1,000 rupees as Guru Dakshina for the Patnam Subramaniam Iyer, right? And then he was trained under Patnam Subramaniam Iyer for a period of time, and then he was learning a lot of songs well. And then at some point in time, they wanted to see if they can do the debut, meaning like the concert of Poochi Srinivasa Iyengar, right? So then they did that in a Darbar Hall of Ramnad, and it has become great success. And that's where Sethupathi has given 10,000 rupees to Patnam Subramaniam Iyer for getting this guy trained, getting Pooji Srinivasa Iyengar trained and become a great music vocalist, right? So it was also told that the 10,000 rupees what Patnam Subramaniam Iyer got from the Sethupathi, he used to buy a house in Thiruvayaru. Okay. So after that, Pooja Srinivasa Iyengar started getting a lot of gold medals, and then he started singing in various concerts across different places. So there were a lot of co-artists or the Sishyas who was studying under Patnam Subramaniam Iyer along with Pooja Srinivasa Iyengar. They were also telling that Pooja Srinivasa Iyengar is almost sings like his guru Patnam Subramaniam Iyer. At the same time, they were giving more specialization to the rhythm, no, sorry, melody than the rhythm. Okay, so that's what they were doing in those days. And there were a couple more incidents which were mentioned in the histories or all in the people who were talking about it. So we'll talk about it in a while. Before that, we will talk about some of his speciality, right? Why his name is Poochi Srinivasa Iyengar. So a lot of people think that okay, so there was one thing which I need to mention here. Basically, Srinivasa Iyengar is able to sing the low and medium pitches. When it goes to the high pitch, his voice was a little harsh. Okay, but somehow people attributed that and then said his name has become Poochi Srinivasa Iyengar because of the voice. But that's not the case. He had a very nice melody voice. So what he used to do is he used to apply the sandal paste around his throat and some places in his body. So when you are applying something into your body or your hands or wherever in the places, it is there is a Tamil word called Poochu, means applying. Since he used to apply the sandal paste in his around the throat and body for a good voice. So he used to called as like Poochu Srinivasa Iyengar, and then later it has become Poochi Srinivasa Iyengar. Okay, so there is nothing to do with his voice, but he was really a great singer, right? And when you look at it, he's a great composer. So if you look at it, anybody who, if you go to any concert and if somebody starts the concert with a Varnam, Mohana Varnam Ninnukori, then it's Ramanathapuram Srinivasa Iyengar's Varnam, right? So he has composed lots and lots of songs, and he followed the compositions the way how he composes the songs. He followed almost his guru, and as well as he followed his Guru Parampara, the Tyagaraja Swami as well, because Tyagaraja Swami was composing most of the songs on Lord Rama. Similarly, Srinivasa Iyengar also composed a lot of songs on Lord Rama. Okay, and I also told he was mostly concentrating on the melody than the rhythm. His music is very pure. That's what the Mysore Vasudevacharya and then some of his fellow classmates have been telling. And he used to sing in his guru's bani, like however his guru sings. Similar things he used to. He similarly he used also follow the same bani. That's the thing. But yeah, so Sulamangalam Vaidyanatha Bhagavatar, right? So he is the one who commented on how he effortlessly sings the songs and also gives more important to melody than the rhythm, right? That's the level of importance he has given to his music as well as to his guru. And he has composed a song on Saint Tyagaraja. We will listen to that song in few seconds. Basically, Sadguru Samiki in Riti Gaula is composition of Poochi Srinivasa Iyengar on Tyagaraja. So look at the Guru Bhakti or like the Bhakti he had on the musicians or composers or towards the music. So which made him to compose a song on Tyagaraja. And he had like a great respect to his guru, and so whatever his guru says he just follows this. There are a couple of things which was mentioned by Mysore Vasudevacharya. Whenever he writes any whenever he composes any songs, right? So the first thing he does is he takes to his guru and then have him verify things, and then he will start singing or teach to the students and things like that. So that's the level of dedicated shishya, and he is also a dedicated guru. There is a small incident which we can tell on that one. So he used to teach to his students, like, this is again a information we got from Mysore Vasudevacharya. So he used to teach his students, and one day when Mysore Vasudevacharya went to his house, that time he was teaching his students about Begada Varnam, and I think that was from his guru, like Patnam Subramanya Iyer. And he was singing that for a long time, and then he was teaching every individual student this separately, and then had them sing all together. Right. So this was going on for a while, and Mysore Vasudevacharya was looking at all this, and then he was there to witness all this when. And after this, he saw all those sishyas were singing very well. So that is showed how he is dedicated guru as such. And then later, Poochi Srinivasa Iyengar was asking Vasudevacharya, Acharya, so what do you think about teaching? He said it's really great because you've been singing for a while, and then making sure the students listen to that first, and then you are teaching them individually, then you are making them to sing together. It's a great technique. So then Srinivasa Iyengar said yes, so because we need to make sure we have the students listen to the music first so that they get the nuances of it, and then you teach them, they will pick up easily. So it is possible that we can just teach them straightforward, get into the like pallavi anupallavi, and then teach them and then finish it up. But that's not my style. So I used to have these whatever the composition, right? So I used to sing it for a while, and then the students will listen to it. Then I used to teach them individually, one student at a time, meaning even though you have multiple students in the class, so I used to teach to every individual student, and then have them sing all together, right? So he is doing that one for that particular day. I think it would have started early in the morning. I think it got over around 10 a.m. And then he was not knowing, I think he was not knowing that Vasudevacharya was waiting there. So after this when um, he had his Sishya, Salem Doraiswamy Iyengar, was there in the house, and he used to play Tampura for Pooja Srinivasa Iyengar during the classes or even some of the concerts also. So after all this is done, so Pooja Srinivasa Iyengar was looking at Salem Doraiswamy Iyengar. So Doraiswamy Iyengar kept the tambura in the corner of the house, and then went to the kitchen to get the breakfast for him. So he got a full plate of idli. I think it was told around 20 25 idlis with a bowl of ghee, right? So by looking at this one, Mysore Vasudevacharya was really shocked. Such a great a grand breakfast or what. Okay, so Puchi Srinivasa Iyengar had was having it slowly, and then he could dip that all with a ghee in it, idlis, and then finished all the idlis, and then he also had a big jug of coffee. After that is what he realized that there was Moshe Vasudevacharya was also there. So then they started talking together, right? So this showed how much interest he had in music, because from early morning he started singing and then teaching and all the stuff. So the way how he used to practice a lot and lot, right? So much of time he used to practice, maybe late in the night, and then all through the day as well. So the same way Vasudevacharya was mentioning, the way how he sadhana is for a huge sadhana, so he's also had a great breakfast is what he used to say. Another incident, so Salem Doraiswamy Iyengar was there in the class as well. So there were a lot of students were there, and then so when Vasudevacharya came in there, then he was asking Vasudevacharya, so how do you think about these students, who is good and all? So they were both were talking, and then Vasudevacharya was saying there was one boy who was sitting in that corner. I felt he is grasping good, so he should be a good musician, is what he was saying. Then Srinivas Iyengar said, actually, he's a so naughty guy. He doesn't concentrate much. He doesn't sit properly in the classes and all. But Vasudevacharya said yes, but I still see that he's having a great interest in music, but I think he's great future in the music. He is none other than Ariyakudi Ramanathapuram Iyengar, who became great musician. So, and there is some Iyengar, so the I was also a part of the class, and Vasudevacharya used to praise Ariyakudi Ramanuja Iyengar in the class, right? But Poochi Srinivasa Iyengar said, no, no, don't do that one, because if you praise a lot to these students, so they think that they know everything, so they'll become like lazy and they don't practice well. So you should not do that one. That's the case in those days. They don't much basically uh, appreciating. They will appreciate maybe when the students are not there. They say like, yes, he did well and he is performing well and all. But in front of the student, they don't really praise them a lot, because that puts their head with a lot of stuff in it. So that's why they don't want to do it. So and Pooja Srinivasa Iyengar used to be very strict in the class. So if students were not singing well, so he used to tell them you have to practice well and then come to the classes. And also he used to be taking care of the students very well. So he is when students were studying under him in the Gurukulam, like Durasamy Iyengar, Rekudi Ramanuja Iyengar and all, they were studying in Gurukulam in his house itself, right? So he used to take care of them very well, and then after every day after the dinner, he used to take pawn and then just go for a walk to check if all the students were settled well and sleeping and all. So one day he was going around and then he saw in one of the room, it was locked and the light is on, like it was locked outside, but inside seems to be the student is sleeping, but when he was knocking the door, or checked the door, it was locked outside, and when he knocked also no sound from inside. And then he went to backside of the room to check if there is any other way to open the room and check what is happening there. When he went there, surprisingly he saw someone was walking and then towards the pond. So there was a pond behind his house. Somebody was watching, going towards the pond. So then he was like surprised, what is happening, who is that and all the stuff. And then when they went towards the pond, like the guy who was going in the front, who was walking down to the pond, in the steps fast, and then he went to the place in the pond. And Srinivas Iyengar was like shocked, what is happening? So is this guy going to jump into the pond or what? And to the surprise, the boy, when when he reached some state in the pond, so he started singing a song, a nice song. And then he start, basically he's practicing, because his guru said morning he did not sing well, he need more practice. So he was not sleeping and he was singing in the night and practicing it, right? So when he went to the student and touched his shoulder and saw who is that, he was Salem Doraiswamy Iyengar. Doraiswamy Iyengar was also shocked, and Poochi Srinivasa Iyengar also was shocked. And then for a while, then Poochi Srinivasa Iyengar showered water on Srinivasa Iyengar's the Doraiswamy Iyengar's face. Then he became conscious, and then he's asking why, what happened. He said I am practicing here because I was not doing well in the class and all. So then onwards, Pooja Srinivasa Iyengar made sure Salem Doraiswamy Iyengar sleeps with him all the time. Meaning he want to make sure the student is not left alone, and it should not create any problems for the student, right? So that level of dedicated guru he is. Great, right? And then as a composer, as I said, so he has composed lots and lots of things, but what we'll do is we'll start with a small piece on the Tyagaraja Swami now, and then we'll just listen to that. Then we will proceed further with the rest of the stuff. Just give me a moment. I'm trying to get this one corrected.
Ah na na सद्गुरु स्वामी की साटी लेदनी संतत పొగడి స్మరించవే ఓ మనస సద్గురు స్వామికి సాడి లేదని సంతతం పొగడి స్మరించవే ఓ మనస సద్గురు స్వామికి సాడి లేదని సంతతం పొగడి స్మరించవే ఓ మనస సద్గురు స్వామికి సాడి లేదని సంతతము పొగడి స్మరించవే ఓ మనస సద్గురు స్వామికి సాడి లేదని సద్గుణ సర్వ సాక్షిని సద్గుణ సర్వ సాక్షిని సద్గుణ సర్వ సాక్షిని భజించి సద్గుణ సర్వ సాక్షిని భజించి సద్గతి పొందిన సద్భక్తుడు త్యాగరాజ సద్గురు స్వామికి సాడి.
Okay, so I think I know we wanted to listen to the full song, but in the interest of time, so we're jumping back to the presentation. Okay, so we'll talk about some of the aspects of Srinivasa Iyengar as a composer. As I said, he has composed 100 plus compositions, which has Aditala Varnams, Adatala Varnams, Kritis, Javalis, Tillanas, and even Kavadi Chintus. Right? So Aditala Varnam, we all know about this Mogana Varnam, which is very famous, and like in a lot of places we have seen people singing about it. And then there were a few other ragas also. He has composed Varnams, and then Atatala Varnams, he has a couple of them. And I think normally, there is you used to have this Kantajadi in the Atatala Varnam. I think he has also composed one in Chadusra Jadi. So that's a specialty in the Atatala Varnam. And some of the Javalis and Tillanas are so we have a couple of Tillanas, which is in a different talas, like with 108 beats and like 72 beats in a cycle kind of stuff. And I know he is mostly composed on Lord Rama, and then his compositions are really follows the tradition which is derived from Tyagaraja and his guru Patnam Subramaniam Iyer. Okay. And who are his Shishya Paramparas? So, as I was mentioning earlier, the great vocalist Ariyakudi Ramanujaya Iyengar is one of the great Shishya Parampara. Like he's also have a lot of Shishyas, and even till now, like you can trace out the Shishya Paramparas of Ariyakudi Ramanujaya Iyengar as well. That way, I think it's like from Tyagaraja to till today, you have like a great Shishya Parampara. And then you have a Salem Dreswami Iyengar is also one of the great student, and we saw the like you know the incident how he has taken care of things. And then Bengaluru Nagaratnamma, I'm sure most of the people know about her because she's one of the person who is really trying to get the Tyagaraja Aradhana to great extent, and she has built the temple in the Kaveri bank for Tyagaraja as well. Okay, so there are a lot more students were there, but these were the main ones who was really stood out. And I think maybe I would have missed out something. If there are others, then please do let me know. I'll add them to the list. And what is next? So we have so he has really did a lot of contribution to the field of service. So as I said, the composer, musician, and all the stuff. But also he has given a the great time with people so that he can also be part of the Tyagaraja Aradhana. In those days there was a Chinnakachi and Periyakachi. He was part of the Chinnakachi in Tyagaraja Aradhana, but I think later he has passed on to Bangalore Nagaratnama. And then she is in 1940s or 41s, when it become one unique party. I think Nagaratnama took help of Ariyakudi Ramanujaya Iyengar, and then got a things into one party, and then they started doing the Aradhana from then on. And it was also told that he used to do discourses on the Ramayana in the temples as well, right? So those are some of the aspects, and then there were a couple more things which Mysore Vasudevacharya used to say, they were like how those days people were known to each other, and not really having like you know the what do you call they were all basically the close friends, and they, even though both all of them are musicians, they're all go gel well, and then give chance to each other. So Veena Sheshanna, I used to call Mysore Vasudevacharya, and also the Poochi Srinivasa Iyengar was called to Mysore to perform in various timings. Similarly, Poochi Srinivasa Iyengar called Veena Sheshanna and his brother, and Vasudevacharya also came along with them to Ramnath to perform when they were performing, right? So that's the level of things. And one of the uh, Wadayar's marriage in Mysore kingdom. So they were calling all the artists from across the globe. So that time Poochi Srinivasa Iyengar was also called, and Vasudevacharya and Pooja Srinivasa Iyengar concerts were on the same day, one after the other. First Vasudevacharya was singing, and then next Srinivasa Iyengar was singing. So Vasudevacharya was singing a song, which is he was singing a song in a specific raga, and when he was doing that, Pooja Srinivasa Iyengar was really impressed, and then he was really looking at Vasudevacharya in a great respect. And luckily, the same thing when Pochi Srinivasa Iyengar turn came in. So he was also singing the song in the same raga. Basically, they both were composing the songs those days, and they both composed the song in the same raga, almost similarly. Basically the ragas and swaras, everything almost same. If you look at it, I think the raga is called Megharanjani, and both of them were composed, everything is almost similar, right? And Vasudevacharya, when he came to know about this one, then people think that they copied each other, right? But that's not the case. They were composed on their own, and then when it looked at it, it's all looked like each other. So Vasudevacharya came and so Pooja Srinivasa Iyengar, no, actually, I will change this to different raga or a different format, because I don't wanted the things to be diluted because of me, for your composition. when Vasudevacharya told this one, Poochi Srinivasa Iyengar said, no, you don't need to change, right? Because each of them have their uniqueness, and it shows how we both are having the greatness from our guru, Patnam Subramaniam Iyer. So it is possible that two people have a same Manodharma. So you don't need to change this one. He was giving an example also. So Dikshadhar and Tyagaraja also had a similar thing. Okay, so Dikshadhar also had composed a song called Akshaya Linga Vibho, and similarly Tyagaraja also composed a song called uh, Manas Manasu Swadina. So those were like similarly matching. So that's why again, like Poochi Srinivasa Iyengar replied, no, you don't need to do anything. So let it be. People think whatever they wanted, but I think we have like our own uniqueness. So it's you don't need to change anything on that sort, right? And Pooja Srinivasa Iyengar also came to Kumbakonam to perform a concert, and he had like a great concert, and it was really an amazing experience for people in Kumbakonam. And Uwe Swaminathan here also was called to speak in that concert, and that's where he was talking about Pooja Srinivasa Iyengar, comparing with the Sangam Srinu Iyengar in the Kumbakonam place. They had a local artist who's also well versed in the music. So he was comparing with the local artist with Pooch Srinivasa Iyengar with the local artist, where the local artist was the great senior artist, senior most one. So he got into a basically always got into a controversy in that one. So he has mentioned in his book as well. Right, so that's the level of greatness Pooja Srinivasa Iyengar had. So and also he is Vasudevacharya used to say he's very much particular about the things what he have, it could be his belongings or cash or whatever, right? He want to take care of very much well. So he was also mentioning an incident where he lost his old sacred thread in one of the place where they went for a concert, and he was searching everywhere, and then he was so totally upset, and once he got back that then only he was relieved. So that level of sensitivity or carefulness he had is what Vasudevacharya used to say. So there are a lot more to share about Pooja Srinivasa Iyengar. So hopefully this was informative, and then we will see if we can get in another video, or I'll try to get the blogger with more details, so that it'll be a great read for people. Okay, so with that, I thank you all for your time, and let's meet in the next episode with another great artist. Thank you.